Okay, going live. Yes, what a good way to begin the day. Starting with around 12 a.m. today in the last year of 2018 of December the 31st. I like to touch up on something in this video, which is very important, for us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves here in America to know and to take heed to and pay attention to. Now, before I go further, I like to say that this video, rather the topic in this video, of which I'm going to be speaking on, does not represent, you know what I'm saying, the opinions of this topic does not represent the platform of Operation Exodus Mississippi or Reality Temple Ministries. Well, it does represent Reality Temple Ministries because of the core of the truth that this topic would be coming from. But however, it does not represent Operation Exodus Mississippi, part of this platform, which is about us, helping to deliver our people from our slave-like condition. So, I just wanted to, basically separate that so you understand, where I'm going at with this topic, which, like I said, this do not represent this part of the platform called Operation Exodus Mississippi, but as far as Reality Temple Ministries on Earth, yes, it does because it represents truth in the matter of dealing with what's going on with us as a people. But whatever we believe in, whatever we, as far as our beliefs or whatever, it doesn't have nothing necessarily to do with Operation Exodus Mississippi. So I just wanted to help you to understand by differentiating that point there. And further along, moving, I just want to say this here. I've been paying attention quite a bit for some time, especially since I've been on this platform. It's been, it was a time I didn't even want to get on this platform called Operation Exodus Mississippi, Reality Temple Ministries, which is the same platform, basically. But on a different level, like I say, as far as the ideals go. But it's the same platform. Just want you to know that. But however, I didn't want to really get on this platform because I know how ignorant many of our people, especially in the conscious community, are. When we can't even come together on one common accord, to, make a better situation happen for ourselves as a people in this country than where it's at right now. And, but because of where I stand at and in my convictions of what I stand on, I felt that after all, it was still necessary for me not to give up on my people, though, in spite of how ignorant our people are with this slave-like mentality that we have. And also, I just wanted to say that at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, right now, anything concerning the conscious community is totally a detriment to our people's progress, as far as those of us who are descendants of slaves, dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. I just wanted to make that clear, we are definitely not going nowhere with this construct called black consciousness or pro-black, uh, blackity black power construct thing. We're not going nowhere with this, whether it's coming from the construct of so-called pro-black Islamism, pro-black even Christianity. Because, we done caused ourselves in cases even since the 60s to try to revolutionize Christianity, which was forced on us by our slave master over 400 years, into being some type of black conscious entity, you know, uh, and but at the same time, it's still coming directly from the same construct of the root of Christianity, which was forced on us by Caucasian slave master over 400 years ago. And so it really don't make no sense. And then even the same thing with Islam. And then also then you got these Kemetic teachings, Egyptian Kemetic teachings, whatever, that don't do us a hill of beans. First of all, because we don't have no direct link to the history of these people. We don't even know about our own past, as far as here in this part of the world as a people, whose history was totally wiped away, to the point where we don't even know the ancient languages that the ancestors before us in this generation spoke, So why are we even bothering with connecting with history as far as Kemet and Timbuktu, or ancient Ethiopia, or the Ashanti empires, or the Mali empires, and all this other crap over there in the so-called motherland Africa that don't got nothing to do with us as so-called Negro Americans here in the United States. The only link we have to the continent, which is over there in Liberia, West Africa, because as a result of former slaves from here in America going over there to create a settlement, which eventually became with them forming as a nation officially, which is now called Liberia. Okay, that's the only direct connection we have, which history and the present dictates of us being, in terms connected with anything concerning the continent. Because anything else, whether you want to go to Ethiopia, Sudan, Nigeria, Egypt, even, Zimbabwe, the Congo, South Africa, Kenya, and the list could go on as far as over there with countries. We don't have no direct connections with that, nor with the people of them particular areas I named over there on the continent beside Liberia. So like I said before, but we do know because we have our own people who come from the same descendancy line as us, who are dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. We know we have a connection to them, but we don't know about the rest of the people in the other places that could be substantiated. So therefore, while we, chasing after that pipe dream with no direct connection, we live in a lie. Just like with religion, we're living a lie every day. I mean, you got all these churches you know, in our communities. You got all these mosques in our communities and other religious institutions in our communities, but yet you still got all kind of chaos going on in our communities where these churches and other religious institutions exist at in our community. That's not done nothing whatsoever to change our condition as a people in this slave-like situation that we still find ourselves in for over 400 years here in America. You know, we had these pro-black teachings to come out to construct, like I say, of Islam, as well as Christianity, you know, and stuff like that. And it still ain't done nothing for us. You know, it has done nothing but failed us. And this is why Operation Exodus Mississippi, you know, was started as a platform to begin with because of that. You know, and because it has the, you know, in fact, you know, unique ingredients that can make this situation right once and for all for us as a people. If we really want to get on board this soul train and get free totally from our 400-year oppressor, which many of us, you know, really don't want to do. And the truth of the matter is because we want to remain comfortable in our oppression and live and die as a slave, which is just the bottom line, you know. And like I said before, I just, I really am at the point that I started even not to get on this platform because of that. I didn't even want to have nothing to do with any form of social media platform because of this, because I know how fake most of those of the conscious community are. They talk a good game, like the ones that always talk that Pan-Africanism crap, but 99% of them ain't even trying to go nowhere near Africa, let alone going to Africa, period. You know, ain't made no plans, no kind of reservations, no type of connections to even relocate there, let alone on their own behalf, but on they just on the behalf for the sake of their children and grandchildren to be able to carve out a future over there. Ain't none of them, you know, tried to do that, you know, but yet they want to still remain here in America around these races and what goes along with that package, of course. So, you know, that's why I done got to the point that I less associate with people in the conscious community. I only deal with those that come from the straight up total 1,000 rugged and raw real of where we at as a people and, you know, what our agenda is in terms of getting ourselves up out this situation that we still find ourselves in after over 4 centuries in this nation, in the slave-like condition that we still wake up to every day as a people in this country. So, like I said before, you know, it needs to really be a revamp when you want to talk about the Black liberation movement in the United States. It needs to really be a revamp, a total revamp, you know, because all this other stuff, some of it may have started off right, like in the case with the Nation of Islam, you know, More Science Temple of America, you know, the original Black Panther Party before that fizzled out, and then you had another organization called, and they self piggybacking, piggybacking off that, which is now known as the New Black Panther Party, which was originally started by the late Dr. Khalid Muhammad, but, I'm going to just make this clear. What the New Black Panther Party was under his direct leadership is nothing like such today under the current leadership of that organization. So I just want to make that clear to those of you that's listening out in cyberspace. And also, too, at the end of the day, I just want to also say that, just like quoting on what a brother named Lance Shabazz, who had the Lance Shabazz show on YouTube before he stopped making videos, on a regular basis at least, I remember him mentioning just recently in a video that when he was being interviewed, matter of fact, by a sister, forget the name of the video, but he was like, the Nation of Islam basically started off as a organization for dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America with a real purpose, but at the same time, it's nothing but a game. It's nothing but a con game. And I mean, that's true. Because all you see, majority of now, far as the Nation of Islam, is about making money. And I remember even what I was still calling myself a student of Nuwabian leader, Dr. Malachi Z. York. I was struggling on trying to really find my place in the so-called Black conscious community. So I was, shifting back and forth, trying to see if I was going to remain with the Nuwabians or join the Nation of Islam. And as time went on, at different periods, I would go around brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam under Louis Farrakhan's leadership. And all I saw when I did go around the brothers and sisters that everything was centered around money. If you didn't have no money, it was basically like you wasn't nothing. I even remember I had a brother years ago in the local mosque they had in Kansas City who told me that in order to be a real Muslim FY, you got to have money. And I thought about that because, I have been a study of the Holy Quran, especially coming from when I was even involved with the Orthodox Sunni Muslims, at certain periods of times in my development dealing with the teachings of Islam. And they never said nothing about in order to be a Muslim that you got to have money. So anyway, what I'm saying is this, is that it's all about, it's all centered on basically finances and money. And then the funny part about it is that it's not really benefiting our people as a whole. It's just about basically the individual's best interests. Just like in the case with the Christianity that was pushed on us by white Caucasian slave masters. Yes, you see, so the thing is it's not really no difference. And this is why, Farrakhan has been pulling in millions and millions of dollars for years, and while the majority of those in this organization who is at the low totem pole of that organization could barely make ends meet, barely living from one paycheck to another, just to keep from being homeless or put out on the streets, rather, walking around while they struggling trying to sell final call newspapers and bean pies, but can't even afford a decent pair of shoes because they walking around with holes in them shoes, in that type of situation. With hand-me-down suits and all that kind of stuff with bow ties on, walking around with hand-me-down suits, hand-me-down dress shoes. When they, but yet Farrakhan could walk around with meat fur coats on, looking like a pimp, walk around with a $3,000 pair of snake alligator shoes on, you know, $4,000, $5,000 brand new suits, and all this stuff. I mean, come on, for real. Yeah, but then at the same time, he won't talk down on the other Christian preachers when he doing the same thing. And see, this is what I can't stand, And that's one reason why I'm glad I left the so-called Black conscious community alone in the first place. And then on top of that, you know, even the organization that I originally started with, in the Black conscious community, like under Dr. Malachi Z. York, who went by different names like Joshua Rabboni, Imam Isa, and all this other crap, But I come to find out that when the feds picked him up on them charges that got him put in prison for 135 years for child molestation and, transporting minors between, state lines and all this other stuff. And then, also other racketeering charges that the feds had charged him with, you know, he had $250,000 in his possession when the feds, clamped down on him and arrested him down there in Milledgeville, Georgia, back in May of 2002. While the rest of his followers was on the land and didn't even know what's happening, but all they knew was that they had pistols pointed in their face. Children had even pistols pointed in their face while they was on that land they had in Eden, Georgia, raiding it, you know. So he just left them in the blind, all because he cared only about himself, you know. Didn't even warn his followers what was about to come down the pike, And also, when the feds confiscated his assets, it was said that according to his bank records, that he had $9 million in his account. And everybody else who was calling themselves following him and supporting him, and even would, attack somebody if they spoke ill of him. I'm talking about, they was really struggling. I mean, to the point where the children in the community, they did not even eat for days on the land, walking around on the land barefooted, you know, this type of stuff. While this nigga was living in a mansion in Athens, Georgia, that his followers helped pay for through their labor, you know. So I mean, this type of stuff. What I'm talking about is like, it's just crazy. And I mean, then look at the history of the Black Hebrew Israelites that I spoke of in another video from earlier last night, and that was under Yahweh Ben Yahweh's leadership down there in Miami, Florida. And I mean, even though he had followers all over the country, But I mean, his empire down there in Florida was big. Plus, I remember, frequenting one of his hotels that he owned in Atlanta, Georgia. This when he first got took down by the feds, and they was in there, talking about helping him to, get out on bond and stuff like that, I believe. And I was up in there, but it was like, man, I mean, this guy, man, I mean, he made millions of dollars. I mean, his empire, from my understanding, I think it was I think $250 million or more that he had. When the feds, came down on him, but the rest of his followers struggling and barely making it, only because of them depending on him and nothing more. And this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. I mean, you talk about, the Black conscious community, the same people talk about we've been enslaved by the oppressor, and we this and that, but they ain't doing nothing but being slave masters themselves at the expense of our people's labor and struggle. Just because our people felt like, including myself, that they was getting involved in something that was right for the best interests of our people as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. So, like I said before, it's getting now to the point where, we need to recognize that if we really want true freedom and equality for ourselves in this nation or beyond, we must do away with waiting on the Savior. We must do away with waiting on the Messiah, or some spook God to come from somewhere out the sky, or to appear in person like a master Farad Muhammad. You see where I'm going at with this, or waiting on the Anunnaki, extraterrestrials to come from the sky and a mother plane ship to save us. Ain't nothing coming from any of them routes that I just named. We got to save ourselves. It's just that simple. Or totally be exterminated. Like I've said in other videos. Because I mean, this just crazy at the end of the day, of what we find ourselves as a people. We don't have we really don't have no future in this stuff called Black consciousness or pro-blackity black consciousness. We don't have no future in that. Matter of fact, our people become more, dead in terms of ignorance, just just from this construct of believing in these fictitious so-called conscious teachings than our people ever were ignorant in Christianity. We were put more further to sleep by so-called Black consciousness, where it even came to the point where we became even more degenerate in our behavior from what I saw from experience. Myself, we become more degenerate as a result of them teachings. Here it is, you got brothers, whether it's in the Nation of Islam or 5% Nation, walking around calling themselves gods, but yet doing ungodly things, as they say in religion, by selling dope to their own people throughout the streets throughout America, throughout the communities in America where that's dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America are concentrated at. You know, you got even brothers in the Moorish Temple of America, was the first Islamic sect started for black people in this country under Noble Drew Ali in the 20s. You know, selling dope to their own people. But yet, according to their teachings under Noble Drew Ali, they supposed to be about uplifting fallen humanity. Well, I mean, selling crack cocaine, I mean, does not indicate actually that they are uplifting fallen humanity. I mean, that's self-explanatory without an explanation itself. You know, it's just a bunch of niggas getting together who found the way to make money by hiding behind a religion. That's just like Louis Farrakhan and Jabril Muhammad, got together and decided this after because they was broke and poor just like everybody else under them in that organization. They came together and constructed an ideal under the false pretense that they was trying to establish the true teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam as it was when he was living, and had people believing this crap for years, but ended up as a result becoming millionaires off the suffering and labor of their people in that organization, and those who were not registered members of that organization who also gave donations, but yet still got no benefit out of it whatsoever. I mean, and it's like, I mean, these guys, man, I mean, it's just crazy. It's nothing, religion and so-called black consciousness is nothing but a money-making machine. And you know what's so crazy about it is Farrakhan has even got a so-called black Christian church in his pockets where they paying him off, which is the only reason why he even deal with them major black pastors in Christianity like T.D. Jakes, and stuff like that, because he got them in his pocket. He don't care nothing about the black Christian church. It's just a game. And the thing about it is that at the same time, I mean, we just steady giving our money away to these people when we could put it to more better use, or putting it into something like Operation Exodus Mississippi that's going to, produce real true benefits according to the ingredients that come along with this ideal platform of Operation Exodus Mississippi. But like I said before, we invest in our money and time and labor constantly while we ain't receiving no fruits or benefits from this. And this is the same thing that happened to us as just like with our ancestors, built this country. And still to this day, them, nor their generation, which is presently us, as dark-skinned descendants of slaves, of those of them that were born in America, still ain't really benefited true freedom, justice, or equality behind all that toil and labor and blood and sweat you know. So like I said before, I mean, we're being it's like, where does this end? You know, where does this end? And when we think about it, at the end of the day, it's simple. You know, either we let go of this religion and conscious community construct, which has not done nothing for us, or perish. Get on the board, get on board with this soul train of Operation Exodus Mississippi, and just perish. You know, it's just that simple. We don't have no other choice at this point. We done tried everything. Of course, we may have gained a little bit from the civil rights movement, but right now, that's even uncertain in terms of the policies that come from laws that was created from our people's struggle of the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s. So, I mean, you know, we have to create something for ourselves that will be cemented, where it will be a foundation we could more permanently work from as a people to carve out a better future for ourselves and future generations to come behind us. And that's why we're, you know, gearing and promoting towards organizing our people in the state of Mississippi, who are the majority in that state, to be able to take control of the politics of that state with their voting power, so that we can have a state, or rather a sanctuary state to ourselves, where we could really, you know, operate our platform from, in terms of it getting off the ground, where we could really make moves, you know, to obtain all opportunities that we ever wished and hoped for as a people in this nation, without nothing standing in our way. And this is why we always push from this platform that we need a state, not a city or a town. We need a state, something big to make that happen. You know, where we could even, you know, start doing trade and making negotiations with even the federal government to release some of our people from these prisons across the nation, especially particularly those who are political prisoners, you know, that come from the 1960s era through the 70s and even the 80s era, that's still being incarcerated unjustly against their own will, just because they was trying to, you know, uh, make strides toward the liberation of our people in this country. And there's many of them that's still sitting in prisons right now throughout this country as a result of that. You know, and like I said before, we could get them and try to get the government to hand them over to us, where they could really be a benefit to us, to help carve out a new future for ourselves and future generations, and where they could, you know, remain in their last days on this earth, being up under better circumstances. You know, see, we could do all that, and then even not only negotiate and do trade with other states, but also do trades with, oh man, other countries, even including countries in Africa. Since for those of you that call yourself Pan-Africanists, you know, want to claim Africa and all this, we could do business with them now. because we got a state behind us, you know. But yet we still caught up on this tilly bit stuff, as far as you know, getting a business here, there, opening up a daggone YMCA or recreation center. All this crap ain't gonna do nothing for us, which has been proven over and over time. We got to have something big behind us to work from. And that's what with this platform of Operation Exodus Mississippi is about, you know. And like I said, this is why I'm just throwing that in there, because of the things that I am talking about in this video that just ain't work for us, you know. I mean, why you got these pro-blackity black, you know, folks, you know, and saying this crazy stuff and making mockery of those in the civil rights movement. Well, at least those in the civil rights movement made gains. They was doing stuff to make gains for us as a people in terms of laws and policies, which kind of got us at the point where we're at now as a people, as compared to the Jim Crow eras of the 1950s and 60s. You know, so like I said before, you know, we got to understand and recognize, you know, what this situation is all about. If we really want to be free, or we just want to be slaves for the rest of the eternity of our physical existence here and die a slave, you know, while chattel slave ancestors' prayers still go in vain. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, because when they was praying really to be free of all this. We just playing. They really want to be free. See, and then one thing about it is that at least they knew who their common enemy was. See, that's another thing that black, so-called blackity black consciousness has you know, caused us to forget. Now we don't really even realize who the common enemy is no more, because we are so much in the trenches of working against each other, trying to pull each other down constantly every day, trying to tear each other down, especially those of us in the conscious community who claim that we're about unity, but your actions don't dictate that, of course, as evidence show. So like I said before, at the end of the day, you know, we're just done. It's about really our future generations, because we're done goods. We're done. We're damaged goods. We just complete that. We're damaged goods. It's just that simple. It's about our future generations at this point. And if we don't care enough to where we can make a better situation in future for our future generations, then we ought to be exterminated. Just totally wiped out. And I don't care, those of you that's listening in cyberspace, like it or not, as far as what I'm saying. We totally need to be wiped out. If we cannot even carve out a future for ourselves in terms of our generations coming after us, who won't know nothing about what it is to be a slave, who won't know nothing about what it is to be a nigger, especially in the eyes of the racists, who won't know what it is about being a statistic when it comes to being criminals, being gangbangers, being dope dealers, prostitutes, and all this stuff which society has produced in us as a people, long as we've been on this over 400 years sojourn as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. So like I said before, I mean, the situation, it's about our generations coming after us. It's just that simple. If we cannot see that, then, like I said once again, we need to be exterminated, point blank. And honestly, when that point in time, whenever it do come, because it's coming eventually, this all gonna come to head. It's just a matter of time. I mean, especially to those of you who don't pay attention to what goes on with it, as far as in terms of the situation and the climate what's taking place in this nation, and with the paradigm that's changing steadily all the time, especially even in the politics of this nation, going for worse. I mean, our common enemy at any right given time of opportunity could snatch us all out of our homes or apartments and haul us off to FEMA camps and mass graves, just like they done to them Jews in Nazi Germany. We're no different. And we need to wake up to this. We definitely need to wake up to this because this is definitely real. We need to wake up to this. We don't have no choice. Matter of fact, we may have ran out of time, in fact, to this reality. We may have definitely ran out of time. And with this thing called Black consciousness, it definitely ain't helping the situation any better on our behalf as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. And I tell you this, for us as a people in this country, what we have working against us, especially even with these teachings further, pushing us deeper and deeper into the grave, whether you want to call it spiritual death, mental death, or whatever, which I'm not about religion, but it's definitely got us more blinded, I'll say, to our reality as a people than even what Christianity has blinded us over the years. We definitely have been worse in being blinded by Black consciousness, because we dealing with so many constructs, like I say, even in terms of history of different periods of times and different people that we have no connections with. And to be truthful, if them people was to be around us today, they wouldn't even know us, nor would they even want nothing to do with us. That's even the most plain out simple part about it. They wouldn't even recognize us. Period. So, like I said before, we need to wake up and understand and realize this, that we have no time to keep on bull crapping around with our lives. Because our lives as a people is at stake. You know, while we tearing each other down, even in the case with our situation currently at this platform, you know, that has not gotten up off the ground yet. You know, we got niggas that's trying to tear us down to prevent the strong possibility of our rise, of this campaign getting off the ground. But see, when niggas hear something that's good for them, you know, it's like a blockage, a tunnel blockage involved, because they've been so much caught up in the celebrity attraction and celebrity worship, like with Negroes like Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, L. Sharpton. You know, they so starstruck, you know, that they can't see beyond that blockage in of the tunnel vision that they have. You know, so like I said before, we are definitely in serious trouble as a people. I mean, we are definitely in serious trouble as a people. We don't have we don't have no chance in the matter. You know, and like I said before, we might as well just be um, you know, slaves until the day we die, since we choose not to really want to obtain true liberation. You know, because like I say, all this feel good talk coming from the so-called pro-black conscious construct is nothing but just that. Just want to make a nigga feel good. Just to hear somebody say he a god or she's a goddess and all this. Well, gods and goddesses are not, slaves. Kings and queens is not slaves. I mean, you know, if you gonna even call yourself them things, you know, you must enhance your position to where you can even really call yourself that. Because I'm not finna sit up and call myself none of that. Especially when I know that I'm still in a slave-like condition. And that goes for all of those of us that are dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. That's just the reality of it. And like I say, it was a time I didn't even want to get on no social media platform in terms of, having anything to do with trying to bring the message of dark skin soul liberation to our people, or soul dark skin liberation to our people, because of where we're at mentally. And just like the old saying go, like I used to hear even in the conscious community all the time, when people say, well, if it took us 400 to get to where we are, it's going to take 400 to undo where we are. And it definitely at this point may be some truth to that. In fact, it is true, you know, from the looks of it and the reality that indicates the looks of it, you know. So like I said before, we have to really get serious with our disposition as a people in this nation, or die a slave. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I mean, we don't We don't have no laws in this nation that is made or created by dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America that Caucasian white people got to respect. So tell me this for you, or those of you that claim pro-blackity black power and pro-black consciousness. Where is your power at? Even in that, where you don't even have laws or have even, made laws that white people in this country got to respect. Period. So tell me, where's your power at? We ain't got no power. And without no power, definitely comes no respect. So like I said before, at the end of the day, we just still a bunch of slaves. Especially descendants or ancestors who built this country, which we still ain't really, in terms of true equality, benefiting from. So once again, what has black consciousness done? What has so-called black power consciousness done for us? Not a damn thing. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. And like I said, stop playing with ourselves. Stop playing with our future generations. This is serious. Really, this is definitely serious. We're the only dark-skinned people on earth that don't even have a country or official government of our own to even govern ourselves by. So how could we even, identify ourselves with unquote black power when we don't even got that going for us and our existence as a people in this country? So like I said before, we need to start really playing games with ourselves, and really wake up, and really come to our senses if we really want true freedom, justice, and equality for ourselves as a people in this nation. We got to stop playing games. It's just the bottom line. Stop playing games. It's just that simple. And because as long as we do that, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. We're going to keep getting, dealt with racist police brutality, other injustices such as stereotyping, profiling, gerrymandering, discrimination, unequal mass incarceration, and all the other crap that comes along with our negative existence as a people in this country. So like I said before, and in terms, it's going to once again affect future generations of our people. If we even see a future generation of dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America at the rate that we're going. So like I said before, we got to really wake up because things is coming to a head, especially even with the situation that's going on with America as a nation. Things are coming to a head. And either we going to take advantage even of the dynamic change in the times that we're living in, as far as this nation is concerned, or we might as well just, like I say, prepare ourselves to go to the mass graves that they got waiting for us across this nation, along with them FEMA camps that they got waiting on us. This is not no game. Keep playing. My people, keep playing. This is not no game. This is for real. You know, to be honest, yes, like I spoke about in another video, at this time I don't have no problem distancing myself from the ignorance among our people. That's also toxic and detrimental to us, whether as individuals or as families. But I still love my people enough to put this message out there because I want to see a better future for us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. You know, I don't even like the ideal that many of us have to move out of black neighborhoods or leave the black community to go move other places just so we can live in safety environments or less that has less crime and all that other stuff. You know, I don't even like that ideal. We shouldn't have to leave from around our own kind just to feel safe, especially around other people that don't look like us and that don't give a damn about us as well. See, so it's like a piece of meat being stuck between two hard, you know, sandwich walls. You know what I mean? It's just like a piece of meat being stuck between two hard brick sandwich walls. I mean, that's just a situation we find ourselves in as a people. And like I said before, we need to wake up. I mean, even to the point where this pro-black consciousness stuff has gotten us to the point where we don't even where we have become even sleep to what's going on directly around us, where they got even the so-called Hispanics or have placed them above us as a people, you know, which in terms has opened up the doors for them to benefit off the civil rights struggle of our people, of our ancestors from the 1960s and 50s, you know. So like I said before, we have to wake up to this reality and stop playing. We for those of us who think we're not in the worst situation even of those ancestors from that period of time of the 1950s and 60s civil rights movement era or even Jim Crow era before that, you know, we better take another look. This is real. This is definitely real. Even definitely in what's happening in the year 2018, going into 2019, and the so-called new millennial. I mean, we are in the worst situation, whether we realize it or not. It's time for us to get our heads from out of that hard mud that we got our heads stuck in. You know, and start you know, taking reality for what it is, and let's do something about our situation as a people in this country. And with that said, I'm RD 5000, And as our brother, the late Don Cornelius, always said, uh, you know, love, peace, and soul. Or rather, how did he say it? Yeah, love, peace, and soul. Out of here.